The scariest thing about being Amish for me was my fear of becoming a preacher or a bishop one day. In the Amish, once you get married, you're eligible to become a preacher. If one of the elders moves out, your deacon, one of the two preachers, or your bishop decides to move out of the community or move to another church district or even passes away, they will have to ordain a new preacher or deacon or bishop to fill their spot. If it's a bishop, they'll ordain a new preacher, and then out of the 3 preachers, they will ordain a new bishop. So, I mean, if the bishop passes away, you could become a preacher and then a bishop in the span of like 3 years. And I was always so scared of this. I always didn't want to get married because once you get married, then that option is on the table. I asked my dad, could you just move every time they're getting ready to make a preacher? He's like, you could, but people would talk, and you know, he went through it a couple times. He never became a preacher, thankfully. I was there for, I think, one time that they had to ordain a deacon in my dad's church, and his name was not one of the ones that got 2 votes. So I guess he was doing a good job of staying under the radar, you know. But you don't get paid to be an Amish elder. A lot of people complain about them. I've heard a lot of ex-Amish people complain about the bishop or the preacher or the deacon, you know, but they don't get paid for it. They still have to do their regular job. They didn't choose, you know, that title. It's a scary thing. I was always so scared of it. I was certain I was going to be a preacher one day. That's why I left. God bless. If you were to allow an Amish man to have a choice whether he wanted to be a preacher or not, most of them would choose not to be a preacher because of the extra burden and responsibilities that come with it. So either you would have a church that didn't have enough preachers or elders, or you would have elders or preachers who wanted to be preachers for the wrong reason because they wanted the power, they wanted to be in control, or they wanted to be in charge of disciplining everybody else and not being disciplined themselves. So it's never a good reason, and the ones who want to be preacher, they hardly ever get any votes. Nobody's going to vote for them. And the way it works is any baptized member will cast a vote in that church district, and for one of the married men that's not already one of the elders. And then anyone who has 2 or 3 votes is agreed upon beforehand will be put in the lot. And the time I watched, there were 6 men, and then each one of those men has to go up and pick one out of 6 books, hymn books. Each one has a string tied around it. There's a slip of paper in one of them. And then it's random. They can pick any one of those books. And they go up in order, pick one of those books, and then whoever has the slip of paper, that is your new elder. And the theory is that it's God's choice, and it's not about our will, but God's will. You know, someone obviously has to be in charge, has to be a preacher, and it's better to elect someone in this fashion than it is just to let whoever wants to be in charge, because usually it's for the wrong reasons. God bless y'all. Stay safe. Are the Amish rules up to the bishops alone, or do others have a say too? So the rules are not decided by the bishops. They are decided by the founding members of the community. When a community is first founded, there's 6 or more families that get together and they decide to found a community and to move over to this area where they found some nice land, and they're going to start a new settlement. Then they decide upon the rules. And then everybody that comes in asks what the rules are. They find out, and if they're okay with the rules, they will live there. Sometimes Amish people will live in a community where they don't quite agree with all the rules because it's in a nice area. However, you can also choose to leave that community if you do not like the rules. Very seldom do you see Amish people move in and then try to change a community. You know, they're already doing it that way. Why bother them? If you don't like it, you just leave and you go somewhere else. That is a little harder to do among the Swartz and Trooper Amish. But among the old order, it's pretty easy to move to a more modern community. And I see some old order ex-Amish content creators complaining about the rules they grew up with and how they didn't like them. But what they fail to mention is that their parents chose those rules. When they either got baptized into that community and stayed there, they didn't move, that's also a choice, you know. A lot of my siblings now live in areas where they can have hot running water with natural gas. God bless y'all. Much love. That's my bird. It's Jimmy.